Have you ever imagined that 10-year-old blind kid being dragged down the sidewalk by an HOA president who thinks she's the law? Sounds like a nightmare, right? That's exactly what happened to Marcus, my son, until 3 Army Rangers turned the tables on the ultimate Karen. In the next 10 minutes, I'm telling you a story so wild it'll make your jaw drop. Stick around, because I'm sharing the one move that stopped this bully for good and left her regretting everything. Let's dive in. I'm a dad and a former Army Ranger, home on leave, trying to give my son Marcus a safe place to grow up. We moved to Pine Valley Estates because it seemed perfect. Wide sidewalks, quiet streets, a place where Marcus, who's blind, could practice walking on his own with his white cane. He's 10, full of courage, and loves his short walks around the block. But from day one, Karen Henderson, our HOA president, made our lives hell. Within a week, she's at my door, clipboard in hand, saying Marcus's cane is too loud on the sidewalk. Too loud. Can you believe that? She hands me a warning on official HOA paper, like she's the neighborhood sheriff. It didn't stop there. Karen had a problem with everything Marcus did. His cane brushed her precious rose bushes. Citation. He touched a lamppost to find his way. Citation for vandalism. She even posted notes on the community board about unsupervised kids causing trouble, clearly aimed at Marcus. I tried talking to her, explaining how blind kids navigate, even offering to teach the HOA board about the Americans with Disabilities Act. Karen just waved me off, saying, "Rules are rules, and everyone follows them." I kept my cool, documented every interaction, and told Marcus to keep being his amazing self. But I had no idea how far she'd take it. Want to know what pushed her over the edge? Keep watching. Karen's harassment got worse. She'd follow Marcus on his walks, loudly complaining to neighbors about his disruptive cane tapping. She filed complaints with the HOA, saying his walks were disturbing the peace. At a community meeting, she even suggested banning guide dogs because they might scare people. I'm biting my tongue, trying to protect Marcus from her nonsense while working through proper channels. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a sunny afternoon, and I ran to the hardware store 10 minutes away. Marcus wanted to take his usual walk around the block, something he'd done dozens of times. He's got an emergency smartwatch that alerts me and my ranger buddies, Jake and Tony, if he needs help. I reminded him to tap it 3 times if any trespassing on the sidewalk. Like a kid walking home is a crime. When he tried to explain he lived there, she grabbed his arm, yanked him forward, and dragged him toward her house, saying she'd deal with his parents. Marcus, terrified, dropped his cane and tapped his watch. My phone lit up with alerts while I was in the checkout line. Jake and Tony got the same message with Marcus's GPS location. We dropped everything. Jake, who's 6'4" and built like a tank, was 2 minutes away. Tony and I were 3 minutes out. Those were the longest 3 minutes of my life. Jake's SUV screeched to a halt first. He told me later he saw red when he spotted Karen dragging Marcus, who was crying and stumbling. Jake moved like we did in combat. Fast, controlled, unstoppable. He was out of his car in seconds, pulling Karen off Marcus without hurting her. Tony arrived next, shielding Marcus while Jake kept Karen back. By the time I got there, Marcus was shaking, reaching for his cane, tears streaming down his face. Karen was screaming about assault and threatening to sue us all, completely clueless about what she'd done. Want to know how this played out? It gets better. Stay with me. I wanted to lose it, but my training kicked in. Stay calm, document everything, focus on Marcus. Jake was already on the phone with 911, and the cops showed up fast. Here's where it gets good. Marcus's smartwatch had a camera that caught part of the attack, and 3 neighbors recorded the whole thing on their phones. They were too shocked to step in, but smart enough to film. The cops watched the footage right there, their faces getting harder with every second. Karen's still yelling about her HOA authority, but the officers aren't buying it. Then, 2 HOA board members, Robert, the treasurer, and Maria, the secretary, step forward. They'd seen the whole thing from their driveways and were done with Karen's nonsense. They'd been getting complaints about her for months, and seeing her grab a blind kid was their breaking point. They told the cops they wouldn't defend her. Can you imagine her face? Keep watching, it's about to get wild. The cops read Karen her rights as she stammered about misunderstandings and HOA rules. They charged her with assault on a minor and unlawful restraint, serious stuff that could mean jail time. When the handcuffs clicked on, her jaw dropped like she thought her HOA badge made her untouchable. She kept yelling, "I'm the president!" As the officers said, "HOA rules don't beat state laws, ma'am." The police car pulled away with Karen in the back, still shouting about her lawyer and how we'd all pay for this. Marcus was safe in my arms, shaken but okay. Neighbors came out, some apologized. Buzzing. The HOA board held an emergency meeting, packed with people spilling into the hallway. They voted Karen out as president and banned her from ever holding a board position again. They even issued an apology to us and started training on disability rights. Karen's life fell apart fast. She was a real estate agent at a big firm, but they fired her within 2 days because of the bad press. The state started investigating her real estate license, and word is she'll likely lose it. In jail awaiting her hearing, she found out about her job loss and broke down, begging her financial advisor to save her from ruin, but the damage was done. The legal fallout hit hard. Karen was denied bail because she assaulted a disabled minor. The prosecutor went for felony assault, which could mean 5 years in prison. The smartwatch video and neighbor footage were crystal clear, leaving her lawyer with no wiggle room. We also filed a civil lawsuit for Marcus's therapy, medical checks, and the trauma he went through. Experts testified about how terrifying it is for a blind child to lose their mobility and safety. The jury didn't take long. They awarded us $150,000 for expenses and $200,000 to send a message, totaling $350,000. Karen's insurance wouldn't cover it because her actions were criminal. She had to cash out her retirement and take a second mortgage on her house. Her advisors said she cried, begging for a way out, but the court said she had to pay every cent. The criminal trial was a slam dunk. The prosecutor showed the videos, witness statements, and proof of Karen's pattern of harassment. Marcus testified over video, his small voice explaining how scared he was when the lady grabbed him. Jurors were in tears as he described not understanding why someone would hurt him for walking home. Karen's lawyer tried to say she was just doing her HOA job, but the judge shut that down fast. "No title lets you assault kids," he said. The jury also heard from 3 other families Karen had harassed, all with disabled kids. One mom said Karen tried to ban her autistic daughter from the pool for squealing too loud. Another family got fined for a wheelchair ramp even though it's protected by law. Karen's pattern was obvious. She picked on the vulnerable. After less than an hour, the jury found her guilty on all charges. At sentencing, the judge didn't hold back. He called her actions a betrayal of trust and said her lack of remorse made it worse. Karen got 3 years in prison, 2 years of probation, $50,000 in fines, and mandatory anger management. She sobbed, screaming, "This isn't fair!" as they led her away. The courtroom was silent except for her cries. Marcus is doing better now. He's back to his walks, cane tapping proudly, with neighbors cheering him on. Stand up, document everything, and don't let bullies scare you.
There you have it, the craziest HOA story you'll ever hear. Did this hit the spot? Drop a comment if you faced a Karen like this. Smash that like button if you love the justice, and subscribe for more wild stories. See you next time!